Ira Epstein with your morning flash update, and this update is for Friday, and we're sitting here on the 27th of May 2022, getting on to 8:20 a.m. Central Time. So I want to wish everybody a very happy Memorial Day. Remember, you have in the futures this abbreviated market trading that you get. Be ready for that. I have sent out to all of my subscribers and clients the abbreviated hour, so you should have received that twice already this week, so you know where you're at. As for the rally in the stock market, folks, this is, in my opinion, a bear market rally. I have told people over and over, learn how to trade bear markets. You get these. They're expected. Nothing goes in a straight line. You were down 7 weeks in a row in the S&P. You think it's not time to get a bounce? And bounces could be 10% in size or so. So they don't just give you a day or two. Sometimes you get a prolonged bounce in them. It's not the change of a market typically. And what has changed? The Fed is yet, just next month, a week away, in June, going to raise 50 basis points. Its first round of rates. Its second will be in July. And then the debate will begin. Has inflation abated enough where the Fed doesn't have to race as fast with 50 basis point hikes to get ahead of inflation by stepping back to 25 basis points to not tighten so much to hurt the economy? In plain English, with all the fancy grammar of everything that I've read, and I read like mad, I've given you in all of 3 sentences there what this is about. You don't have to believe me, but that's what it's about. When you look at what's going on here, look at the big break in nat gas. Open your chart up. Where's the upper Bollinger Band? What did you hit twice? Fell from it first time, came right back to it, and now you're down 50 cents. I don't know how to say it. If you haven't taken the Bollinger Band course that I created to get you to the next level of them, shame on you. It's right there. It's on our website. Take it. It's under the word education at www.iraepstein.com. Bitcoin still acting absolutely terrible. Bonds and notes, well, you know, this is an interesting rally. I don't think it's the beginning of anything major to the upside. Here, too, just as though you're in the currency markets, you're starting to run up to the upper Bollinger Bands. You should have some stiff resistance here, and that's what I'm thinking you're going to have through here. Now, the metals are giving me a nice rally. I haven't heard anything too much yet out of China. There's a big story if you read the Bloomberg morning recap as to the revolts that are taking place in some of the factories that are putting together now the Apple phones. You know, the draconian method that China has of we're going to have zero tolerance, we're going to put you in a factory, you're going to sleep there, you're going to live there, we'll have certain ways, 12 people will sleep in bunks in a bed, you'll make your $400 a month, and you're going to like it. It isn't working. There are revolts taking place because people have no freedoms. They basically, like slave labor, wake up in the morning, do what they've got to do, they come back. Read the article. It's quite fascinating. And now the revolt is happening. You can't take people's freedoms away for this length of time and think you're going to succeed in any manner. In addition, in Chicago, I'll give you an example. The COVID has gotten so bad that we are now saying, hey, it's a voluntary basis. We want you to wear masks on every indoor place. We're this close from making it mandatory again. So these waves of COVID don't stop. What makes China think in the societies that have better medicine, I want to make that clear, better medicine, more people getting vaccine that works? We don't go into these lockdowns. We have found ways to keep the economies going. And you want to go into the lockdown method, and it applies to supply chains all over the world, products, so on and so forth. There's a point at which President Xi, maybe it's time for him to get a facelift and not worry about saving face. All right. As for the markets, when we take a look at personal income and consumption spending, you are only up 0.4% on the income, slipping away. Last month you were up 0.5. We expected it unchanged. It's not, and yet we're spending more. Look at the consumption. It went up over the expectation, but down 0.2 from what it was in March. The other numbers are pretty flat. We get consumer sentiment indices coming out this morning. I really want to see what they look like. I'd like to know how the consumer feels. They're expecting it unchanged. The European Union, they're starting to address reality. If they can't get everybody on board for the full block, an embargo of Russian oil, energies, what do? And I think that's where they're headed. In the meantime, what's happening is the bargain basement numbers relative to where prices are today are impacting China and India, two big buyers of Russian oil at this point, and there's 60 million barrels of that at sea, and they're able to dictate better terms for themselves by getting it. But in the end, as I promise you, what will happen is China will wield that trading whip that it's done so effectively for decades over Russia, and when you have one big client, which is where Russia's headed, that becomes a problem. Yes, India is big too, but they won't buy. India won't buy as much, I think, as the Chinese will buy. So when we look at these markets, you know, one of the things that I try to teach you is technical indicators. And we've put together volumes 1 and 2 with our good friends at Modern Trader on price charts, chart patterns, the popular patterns to look for, how you draw your trend lines, what moving averages are being used, different oscillators. You know, I use slow stochastic. Market sentiment, some traders like to look at that. Spreads, Fibonacci, Elliott wave, the Arun indicator, price time, Elliott wave principle, ag options. But it's not just ags though, it's options on everything. Even Bitcoin's getting more options. So as you look at it, all that's going on, why not take a look at these 2 volumes? They're in full color. You print them out on your computer. We'll send you the PDF. How do you get them? It's so simple. Just go to our website, www.iraepstein.com, under free offers, or just take your finger, if you have a touch screen. If you don't, take your cursor, move right up there, give the icon a click, and just fill out what you want. Away you go. You have a great weekend, everyone. I will see you. Ideally, I'm going to either record this afternoon or tonight our weekend where we review on our market wrap-up the weekend charts. Look for them over the weekend. You have a great one.